Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to episode 228 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason, and I'll be your host tonight, where I am joined by Mondo.
Hello.
And Jody.
Hello.
And joining us straight from the Hour of Thunder podcast, we have Thor himself.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, what was the last episode you were on for?
It was Dead Calm.
Oh no, good one. Yeah.
That movie is wild. Like that was, I think, only my second time watching it, and like every time I rewatch that, I'm like, this is, how was this a mainstream release? It's insane.
I think about that. Yeah, that movie keeps in my head quite often.
Yeah, because they bill it as like not to go on too long, but they bill it as like, you know, sort of a sexy thriller, and then I'm just like, this is, Billy Zane just plays like the Joker in this movie.
Yeah. For anyone not familiar, it's a late 80s, I believe, movie. I don't know if it's in the 90s or not, with Billy Zane as the villain and Sam Neill and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
It's a crazy movie. All right, but we're gonna get right into it tonight. So the format we want to do now that we're doing the Masters of Horror episodes is we're gonna do Massive Horror episode, and those are all directed by these amazing directors. And then the next week we're going to do a film by one of those directors. So last week we did the episode Dance of the Dead, directed by Tobe Hooper. So this week we're going to do a Tobe Hooper movie and Poltergeist. Come on, how can we not talk about Poltergeist? It is a classic. I'm not even a big fan necessarily of like haunting and ghost movies, but this one is just so chef's kiss. So we're going to get right into it. This is a 1982 movie, I believe. 82. Jody, give us your plot synopsis.
All right. So we meet Steve and Diane Freeling. They live in a planned community in, I think it's called Cuesta Verde, California. I just want to say from the beginning, I think Steve and Diane are some cool dudes. Like, I really like
we're going to get into it.
I just like them. I just like them from the beginning, especially they're hanging out. Diane's smoking a little weed. They're just having a chat. I love it. I love every bit of that.
About Ronald Reagan, yeah.
It'd be a situation where your partner would be like, "Oh, we're gonna go and let's play some board games with friends," and you're like, "Ah, son of a bitch," and like it's Steve and Diane. You're like, "Oh shit, let me get my shoes on."
Steve and Diane have 3 kids: 16-year-old Dana, 8-year-old Robbie, and 5-year-old Carol Ann. One night after, this is when TVs used to cut off after a certain point, and like they quit airing things that would just be static. So one night after that happens, Carol Ann starts talking to the TV static. And the next night it happens again, except for this time a big white hand comes out of the TV, and then an earthquake shakes the entire house. And Carol Ann says, "They're here." The next day, all kinds of weird stuff is happening. Glass of milk breaks, silverware bends, furniture moves on its own. I love the scene where the chairs are all sitting in one place and she goes to get something out of the cabinet, turns back around. All the chairs are stacked up on top of the table. Just creepy stuff. And it seems fun at first. Like Diane's into it, but it gets sinister pretty quick. There's a thunderstorm and there's a scary tree outside that crashes through the window and grabs Robbie and tries to eat him. And they pull him out. It's wild. And while they are saving Robbie, Carol Ann gets pulled into a portal into the closet. And then the tree like gets sucked up in a tornado and disappears. And so they can't find Carol Ann anywhere, but they hear her speaking out of the television. So since they know that she's somewhere in the house, and like, what are you going to do? Call the cops and be like, my daughter's stuck in the TV? Instead, they call some parapsychologists, Martha Lesh, with her team members, Ryan and Marty. And they figure out it's poltergeist activity. One of my favorite moments is as he's describing, like, oh, I've seen some real stuff. There was a car that took 7 hours, but it moved slowly across the room. And then Steve opens the door and the bed is spinning around. Things are flying through the air. Like, okay, sure. We'll
I
call.
gotta say, as coming from a Mexican family, we would never call the cops.
Mm.
I would just call my nana and she'd come over with some sage, and this movie had been over in like 15 minutes.
This is such a random thought, but when they open up the door and everything's going nuts, it reminds me of the Family Guy episode where Peter buys all the Pee-wee's Playhouse furniture.
Yeah. So they find out that there's poltergeist there and a whole lot of other ghosts. And then Steve finds out from his boss that the home development that they live in was previously built on what was previously a graveyard, but they moved the graveyard. It's called foreshadowing.
Or did
Well, I mean, look at the state of America right now, and our whole country is built on top of a Native American graveyard. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
No, the Native American the Native American thing comes with Poltergeist 2, the second house that they live in.
that's right.
Like, no, it's their same house, and it's a graveyard that was built on a Native American burial ground.
Well, no, it's double graveyard. So it's built on a graveyard on top of a burial ground.
It's like how in the Jurassic Park sequels they keep finding more and more sites that they had dinosaurs.
Right.
Yeah.
The initial team isn't able to do it on their own, so Dr. Lesh calls in Tangina Barons, a medium played by Zelda Rubinstein, and for me, she's the highlight of this movie. After touring the house, she explains their daughter is now in a different plane of existence, where the spirits live, but she's not dead. She's just in their realm somehow, and they're trying to go towards the light. And there is a creature called the Beast keeping them from going. And that creature is also chasing after Carol Ann's life force. And so they figure out that the entrance to this dimension is in Carol Ann's bedroom through the portal in the closet. And they throw some balls through, and it comes out another little portal in the kitchen. And then Diane goes in with a rope tied around her and manages to retrieve Carol Ann. They come out the other portal covered in slime like it's Ghostbusters 2. And they're done. Everything's good. The medium says this house is clean and everyone is they're going to go ahead and move anyway. I think you've had enough activity in this house. It's time to get out.
It's a paranormal activity.
That's right. And they're all packing up the boxes, and Diane's at home with Robbie and Carol Ann. I think the teenager's on a date, and Dad's at work. And while they're there, the Beast comes back. It was not over. You just thought it was over. And they're trying to drag them into that other dimension. And Diane runs out to try to get help, and she falls into the swimming pool that they had dug previously, and finds out it is full of dead bodies as skeletons start floating up around her. And that's when we realized they moved the headstones, but not the graves. They didn't move the bodies. And so bodies are just popping up out of everywhere. There's caskets coming out of the ground. And this is when Steve shows back up with his boss and yells at him that, you didn't actually move the cemetery. And they get in their car, and Dana comes home and screams, "What's going on?" They take her in the car and drive away to a hotel as their house collapses in on itself and implodes and then just poofs right out of existence. And
Such a
so
cool
the family,
effect.
yeah, it's great. And then the family checks into a hotel room, and to finish it all off, Steve pushes the TV out of the room and then shuts the door.
One of the best, last minute.
Last great stinger.
My big question is, would homeowners insurance cover that?
My house
They
imploded.
cover acts of God, but now it's Satan.
Oh, don't worry. That's
Satan out of this. He has nothing to do with this.
a shocking amount of the filler in Poltergeist 2 is Craig T. Nelson on the phone with his insurance. I kid you not.
No, that would be okay. You convinced me to finally watch the sequel.
I watched the sequels for the
My
first
dad
time
on the
last year.
phone trying to get shit taken care of. That's my life.
I had never seen the sequels, and I watched them both last year for the first time. They're fun. If I had seen them as a kid, they probably would have been something that really stuck with me, particularly the scary preacher guy. But as an adult watching them, they're fun. Like, they're not as good as this one, but they're still good enough.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a masochist, I tried to watch the remake last night, but I couldn't find it streaming anywhere.
We'll talk. Also,
I'm not going to put that much effort into this.
I paid you more for a sadist. I'm surprised.
Maybe Sam Rockwell used like his more recent paychecks to just buy the rights to that film, so no one can watch it.
But yeah, everything I've heard is awful. All right, Thor, start us off. What do you think of this movie?
Perfect. I didn't see this as a teenager or even when I got on my like real horror kick in college. I think because it was PG, I was kind of like, oh, that's not where my head's at, Like, it's funny. Spielberg, I didn't include obviously there's controversy about what roles him and Hooper had, but we can get into that later. And so I only saw it maybe 5 years ago, and it really blew me away. Like, especially you talk about the special effect for the Beast. And then the special effect for the house imploding. I was like reading an interview with the special effects team about how they figure out how to do that. It's like this complicated, articulated, mechanized contraption that like basically was a miniature, but it like collapsed in real time. And the movie technically is amazing. I do think sometimes it like goes like for a little too much. Like it's not just the Beast. It's not just like everyone wanting to cross over. It's also like the one dude like rips off his own face, which looks very cool and very fun. But I'm like, why did this happen just to him? So like, it does seem like Spielberg, and I forget his co-writer, were like, they're never going to let me write a horror movie again. I'm getting like too successful. Let me think of like every awesome horror idea I have. But yeah, no, definitely would recommend though. Great movie.
All right, Mondo.
I love this movie, and I saw it when I was younger. And what's funny is the only two scenes I remember when I watched it as probably too young was the tree, and that scared the shit out of me, and the face ripping. So the face ripping really stuck with me. And while you have a good point, that it's kind of weird. It's a weird scene in the film, in that it's not like cohesive with everything else, but I still love that scene. That caught my eyes. But one of my favorite things about this movie is the family, and the way Spielberg writes them. And they're like, Steve and Diane, look, they're parents, but they're still like, we're parents, but we're not squares. We're gonna have a good time. And the way they treat their kids like people. And I really like that. And even at the beginning, one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie is the beginning. The guy drops the beer and he runs into the house with all the beer cans spraying everywhere. Because I'm like, the logic of that. Why would you run to the things you can damage? You're outside. It's fine. But that man. But then
the game's on. Steelers are playing.
Game's on.
I have this vision, and hear me out on this. That I may have just for any college kid out there that might be listening to us old dudes. I might have a new drinking game for you. So if you just each take one of the cans and you all shotgun it at the same time while still connected to the inner ring. I don't know. Okay.
Seems like a very intimate frat.
I know. Look each other in the eyes.
It's
that's for like your frat party / swingers party.
Your frat key party.
You're just drinking it with friends in the most awkward way possible. Like, who knows? Look, I'm high right now, guys. I'm gonna roll through this. But I want to feel like Steve and Diane before I got on.
Yes.
But I love the way the part that's kind of heartbreaking to me in this is when I forget the character name, Zelda tells him threaten to spank her, and he's like, no, I've never threatened to hit her in my life. And I was like, as a dad, I was like, that's, oh my God. Like, I wouldn't want to have to do that. And that was like the most heartbreaking part in this whole movie for me, was that one scene that I kind of threw out of my head before. But then when he says it, like, she's like legitimately scared. I'm like, oh, she's gonna remember that. It's gonna be a core memory, like years.
Well, she doesn't remember anything from her time there, so
yeah. But again, the family dynamic is awesome. I really love that. And like Thor said, the effects are awesome. And this is why I want to shit on AI every time I can, because you can do this with practical effects and or even not CGI. That's great, creative. Man, Steve, after this was over, he went to go be a coach somewhere and coach college football. It was
I love Coach so much. That's such a
Coach
great show.
I love Poltergeist. The hand going through the window still is a scene that always got me, because I live in Virginia. We used to have trees around our windows, and you hear them scratch on the windows. And as a kid, it's always like, it scares you, but you know nothing's going to happen. And I love the children's reaction to that scene, because they were like, the same thing. They're like, oh, we're scared, but it's fine. And then the tree just comes through the window.
I forgot how big the tree arm was in that scene.
Yeah. Oh, it's like,
that's some Evil Dead shit, though.
Yeah.
I love it. And your friends are not believing you tomorrow at school that happened, by the way.
It does a great job of like taking things kids are already afraid of and making them actually like dangerous and scary, like the clown. Like
fucking
scared of that
clown.
clown before it does anything.
Like, why? Why is clown?
Yeah,
that's
actually
actually
thrown out a long time ago.
Yeah, I wish they did have one line about like, oh, well, when Aunt Susan comes, she's going to want to see the clown she bought you, you know?
But even like, okay, so at the end, they've like packed up the house, they're ready to move, but they left the clown just sitting out.
Because the clown stays with the house. They're not moving with the clown.
It's structurally integral to that house.
All right, Jody.
Also, the false ending, by the way. The false ending, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Also
No, fantastic.
Great.
Yeah. So I also didn't grow up with this because I was kind of a late bloomer to get into horror. I think I didn't start watching till I was a teenager and then really dug in college. So I watched this, probably the first time as a young adult. But it's got all of the elements of Spielberg and Tobe Hooper, I think, and that's what really makes it work. The Tobe Hooper stuff, it gets real scary. It gets real intense. Yeah. You get, like the face ripping and stuff like that. But I mean, that Amblin touch is all over it. And there's it feels like E.T. or any of those other movies that Spielberg made, where the family is the most important part. And so he knows how to write a family that feels like a real, like lived in family. Like they actually know each other. They care about each other. They want to take care of each other. Steve and Diane, again, seem just like the coolest people. Like you would actually want to hang out with them. The rest of the dudes at their like football party, I wouldn't want to hang out with any of them. But Steve and Diane, I would hang out with. But yeah, it's one of those movies that I've probably seen more parodies than I've actually seen the actual movie. It's one of those that's been redone 100 times. But when you go back and watch the original again, it still hits. It makes an impact. Still scary, still impressive effects. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, man, I remember this movie. I didn't see it for a long time, but it was kind of like in my consciousness. I think when I was like a kid, I think the sequels were coming out. So like there were like trailers and they were just like screening like TV spots. I remember seeing this, like the imagery of just a girl pressing up against the TV is very creepy when you're a kid. In this movie, I was very scared of this movie without even seeing it, just from like all the stuff I just kind of took in around. So I didn't see it till I was probably late teens, somewhere around there. And it's crazy because PG-13 didn't exist when this movie came out, so it was PG. I know it's the Spielberg effect. But like, did they not watch the whole movie? Did they just like stop after the first half hour? Like, it's fine.
Was this the movie that spurned the PG-13?
No, it was really Temple of Doom, I think.
And a little bit Gremlins.
Yeah, and Gremlins. It wasn't because PG-13 wasn't until I think 86.
Yeah.
First was a little bit later.
First movie released under the PG-13 was Red Dawn.
Oh wow,
there you
go. Sorry, real quick on the rating. I did read that there wasn't audience pushback because this was marketed as a horror movie as opposed to Temple of Doom, which was the first movie was much more family friendly. But this movie did have MPAA pushback where they said cut out the entire face ripping scene. And basically, Spielberg sent them a memo that said, "No, I'm Steven Spielberg," and they were like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Just as a car says, "I'm Steven Spielberg, bitch."
There's a fucking scene in Parks and Rec. He goes, "Do you have a permit?" He goes, hands him a note and says, "I can do what I want, Ron."
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I mean, we're talking a lot about Spielberg, and yeah, he was a producer, and I think part of it was there was a director strike, or there was something happening behind the scenes where he just had time on his hands to hang out on the set. So he was like there. But this is definitely a Tobe Hooper movie through and through. It's got like the Amblin sheen, but the direction is very Hooper. It kind of makes me think of like Cronenberg and The Fly, where you take like a really auteur director, but put him in the playhouse of like an established genre, an established story, and then just let them go ham at it. Or kind of like, you know, when you put like Nolan with Batman, that kind of thing, where you take like a director and put him with like a super entertainment property. But yeah, the effects in this get really wild. It's not, no one dies per se, but it's mean. Like, again, as parents, the scariest damn thing in the world is your kid disappearing. And this just plays around that anxiety. I always forget the movie starts with that the end of the broadcast, but those broadcasts used to always end with the Star Spangled Banner. And Tobe Hooper, again, has a obsession almost with the corruption of America, the underbelly of America. And it's kind of like it's like priming us for this idea that, like, are we the poltergeist that took over America? Kind of dichotomy, or, you know, they're being punished for this, kind of like Mondo was saying earlier.
I'm nodding my head.
And then there's that scene where their bird dies, and this is the most baffling thing, where the mom tries to flush a bird.
Hey,
burial at sea.
There are people that flush cereal down toilets, so
cereal's not going to clog a toilet. A bird
flush alligators.
Yeah.
But when I saw her trying to flush the bird, I was just thinking about all the plumbing problems I've had over the last year. Like, oh man, got a bird end up in there now.
Could you imagine that out? Very... Like, we need to talk. Can you wait here? We call the police.
This is a very Tobe Hooper joke, where like all the decor in the bathroom matches. This is the same color of yellow as the bird.
Oh,
that's it.
But then of course the mom gets caught, so they have to put it in a little box and with the daughter, and they have like an impromptu funeral. So again, like we're saying, there's like an Indian burial ground with a cemetery on top with someone doing a bird on top. Some people theorize that's what created the whole triggered all the poltergeist. Who knows?
The daughter's dialogue when she's like, "In case he gets lonely, in case he gets hungry." I love that.
That's so heartbreaking.
That's part of what makes it work so well too, is the actress that plays Carol Ann is just like the most innocent little kid. You want to protect that child, and she goes through the most stuff.
Yeah, she's a very talented actress. She really stands out in the sequels as well. It was terrible that she was misdiagnosed and died of a preventable stricture.
Yeah. I love the kid's bedroom. I'm like that big Darth Vader like carrying case for action figures. I had that.
That's awesome.
I could do without the fucking Rams helmet.
Did you see? Did you see? I couldn't find anything on this other than the fact that it's in there. Did you see the Super Bowl poster behind him is for the '88 Super Bowl, 6 years in the future?
What?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I couldn't find out why. Yeah.
You know, so if like the whole parallax and time travel is real, you think like we're all human, we still make mistakes. Like we wouldn't be perfect. Like you get back to the office, they'd be like, "Did you really pull your fucking iPhone out at a boxing match in 1976?" And like, no one noticed. It's fine.
Yeah. I didn't have reception. It was the weirdest thing.
Again, those little Tobe Hooper moments of the parents like passing around the joint while he's reading Reagan Demand the President. Really funny. And then there's a scene where the daughter is just staring, like her face is wrapped against the TV. She's looking at static, and the mom's like, "Oh, you're gonna ruin your eyes." And she turns the channel, and it's like a war movie or it's war footage.
Yeah, and doesn't tell her to move away.
I know.
I do want to mention while we're just real quick, while we're talking about Hooper versus Spielberg. So for the longest time, for me, in my 30s. I'm like just 40 now, but in my 30s, the movies that alternated between my number 1 and 2 favorite movie of all time were Jaws and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow.
So this movie's like a dream for me, and I think that's why I was mentioning Spielberg, just because, like, even though he wasn't the director, there are a lot of Spielberg touches. And what I've read, now there's all sorts of conflicting stuff, but what I read was Spielberg was used to making more than one movie a year. Universal was worried about like another movie of his coming out the same time as E.T. and like sullying the brand. So they told him you could only make one movie this year. He was apparently bored as hell, and like you said, just hung around the set of this movie the whole time. The one thing I've read about like him interacting is they said he did direct the cast, which I love Hooper. That's never been his forte as much, especially particularly Zelda Rubinstein said like Hooper was in the back, like looking at, you know, like the cinematography, and then Spielberg would come up and tell me how to say lines. And then I was fortunate enough. Yeah, it's like best of both worlds. And I was fortunate enough to see the actress who played Stretch do an in-person interview at the Music Box here in Chicago, and she did say, like, you know, she worked with Hooper after this, and like people talking about, oh, he was just taking a paycheck, oh, he had lost his touch. She was like, he was the hardest working director I ever worked with on Texas Chainsaw 2. So there's no way 4 years earlier he was just like pretending to direct so Spielberg could direct, you know?
Right.
Texas Chainsaw 2 is another movie we have to get on this podcast. I found out Jason is not the biggest fan of it. And
I appreciate it, but I have some issues with it.
Please bring me on to help defend it, because I did not like it the first time I watched it and fell in love.
I try every couple of years, and I just like
it's okay, like, you know, not what was it? What's the line from Wayne's World? Not everyone liked Led Zeppelin. They left music everyone liked to the Bee Gees.
All right, there's a couple other things I want to hit on. Yeah, the chair scene again, it's just so freaking cool, and like the fact that it's all just so practical. Like in 7 seconds, they did that. It's incredible.
Wow.
What I love about the guy with the right before the face ripping scene, he wants a late night snack, so he goes into these people's kitchen, takes out a steak in a frying pan. He's gonna fry a steak in the middle of the night with the whole family sleeping in the living room, adjoined to the kitchen. Like, what the hell is he thinking?
Well, apparently this family is used to people just eating out of their house because they have like workers in their yard. He leans in the window and tastes their chili and puts the spoon back in.
After cat calling their 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, after cat calling the 16-year-old.
And he just starts drinking her cup of coffee. He starts drinking the mom's cup of coffee. But you at least made more sense of that scene than I did. I thought he literally just took the steak out, put it on the counter, and was going to eat it off the counter. I didn't see that he was going to cook it.
I don't know which is worse. Like,
yeah,
one's grosser, but one's more inconsiderate. Like,
one's quieter. Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that if I was hungry and didn't want to wake up, like, I haven't had anything to eat in 3 days, I'm just going to eat it raw. Like, I don't want to bother the person that's living here.
Yeah,
well, it's also kind of rude steak, but yeah.
Well, that's back when people could afford steak, though. Back in the before times.
Oh yeah.
Now, also speaking of the daughter, so at one point they're going through the family with the parapsychologist or paranormal people, parapsychologist, whatever. And the wife says that she's 32 and the daughter's 16.
Yeah.
Supposedly in the quote novelization, I don't know if it's one of those things where the novelizationist wanted to fix it, or this was in the earlier script that they just cut out the line that the mom, Jo Beth Williams, is actually the stepmom of the oldest, but the biological mom of the other two kids. That's the novelization, so take it with, you know. We don't know if it's the earlier script or the guys like that's just kind of weird. I don't know why they would.
I mean, maybe at some point that got clarified in the script. There was a scene that just got cut or something because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things that was in the novelization is that Carol Ann was born in the house itself, and that's why the poltergeist want her so bad.
They did say that in the movie. Somewhere it's mentioned like that she was born in the house. I remember hearing that line.
I was sure if that meant like she was born while they were living at that house, or like she was born physically in the house.
Born in a wagon of a traveling show.
Yeah. Also, did they not build this house with any foundation that was deeper than 6 feet?
Well, I mean, But in some places, like in Las Vegas, here houses are built on slabs.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
our ground's too hard.
Well, and obviously they're cutting corners. Otherwise, yeah. So I
But
don't
he's
think these
also the
houses were.
architect,
Well,
so
I
he would
feel
know
like
this.
what's that?
But he's the architect.
He didn't
Yeah,
set the
but he
father-
didn't know
plans.
that there was the graveyard underneath, though.
Dude, he can
I think
he can
he's-
draw
I
the
think he's-
plans. Doesn't mean the fucking builder has to do what he says.
Yeah.
I think he's strictly sales.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought he was an architect for some reason.
I think
Okay.
he's the sales guy because they were trying to make sure he didn't leave because he had sold so many houses or whatever.
Mhm.
But I think that all kinds of plays into the theme too of like everything looks good on the outside. Like these family, they made it. Like they got a big house, they got a good job, they got the 3 kids. Like they have made American dream, and it's all surface level because underneath there's dead bodies. And I feel like knowing Tobe Hooper and his politics, I feel like that was very intentional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the 80s, where you could put a 12-year-old kid and his dog in a taxi cab.
Yeah. Don't lose my child. There you go. Bye.
I know.
Well, we've gone back around to that. Have you seen? I don't know if it's real, but have you seen the video of the guy ordering a driverless Waymo and sticking his baby in a car seat in and drives off?
Oh my god.
When I was in Arkansas and I had the biggest, I was telling my child and my wife about my biggest white male privilege moment, and it was I'd walk 3 miles to a brewery and the brewery closed down. I was just chatting with all these people, realized I'm the oldest fucking person in there, and I'm like, oh god, I'm the old guy at the bar. It's like telling fun stories. I don't know how I feel about this, but afterwards, like, hey, do you want to ride back to the hotel? I'm like, sure. That was I'm like, oh shit, that is some crazy male privilege right there because
For sure.
Yeah.
And we both thought like, who's gonna kill who, and I'm still here.
There's a movie with a trailer like that we're going to listen to in the
Yeah, we're gonna talk about a trailer. Yeah.
But yeah, this is just like the perfect mixture of like family drama, heartwarming, but also fucking terrifying. With these amazing effects, amazing characters. And yeah, we were talking about like not even AI, but CG. Like CG is so like curated where these are like there's so many happy accidents that happen when you're using these practical effects and these like the layering of the when everything's flying around, it's all like comping together. Oh, it's just so chef's kiss.
And the thing about the effects in this, like they don't have to look realistic every time. Like movie magic. Like you the movie magic is happening even when you're like, okay, I can kind of see the seams on this particular effect, but it doesn't matter.
Someone's sitting there going, that doesn't look like a real poltergeist. That doesn't look like a real poltergeist.
For some reason, the most impressive single piece of special effects in this to me was when the lamp flies by, because like it's so close up and like the lighting's not exactly the same, but like the lighting's so good and there's no like process lines like when you watch like the regular version of Star Wars and there's like those green process lines, there's none of that.
I think one of the cool things about even like being young when these movies came out and watching them, even now, it's kind of cool to like my brain always goes, how did they do that?
Yeah.
And nowadays when you watch newer movies, you're like, oh, it's CGI. It's not. There's no magic to it. There's no magic to it because you're not thinking about how did they do this cool trick? Like what efforts and what creative thinking went into it. But now it's a few keystrokes.
That's why I don't think AI will ever, like, people are always talking about like, someday it's going to be good enough. Yeah, but I'm not going to be sitting there going, how did they do that when all they did was type a line in and it just generated for them? Like, there's nothing impressive about that.
AI is not making the movie Crabs.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Exactly,
Crabs is a human invention. It is.
Well, that's the thing is, there's like things you can tell a little about every special effect, but like, with stuff like this, it's so, like so much more tangible because it's a real or a model or whatever, like a drawing versus, the AI where it's just all amorphous and, too shiny. And I think a great quote from a friend of mine's kid was on our episode about the movie Aliens on Thor's, and we asked him about, because he's like 12, he grew up with CGI, and we asked him about what he thought about the, and he's like, sometimes with the older movies, they look a little rough around the edges, but he goes, I have never had a nightmare watching a CGI horror movie. movie, and I have nightmares of the models.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
I said this before. My child is 23 now, and of all the horror they've watched with me growing up, the one thing that scared the fuck out of them was in Dead Alive, the little fucking rat monkey.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
That's the one thing they had nightmares on, was that.
Yeah.
Speaking
Fair.
of Alien, there is this scene that made me think about that, where you think everything is okay now. She's in the bathroom, and she kind of pulls like a Sigourney Weaver, where she starts undressing to get in their cryo tube. I'm curious if anyone else picked on that.
Oh, that's a good point. I did not think of that.
And then also right after that, where she lays down on the bed and she just they had the spinning room thing. It felt very like Nightmare on Elm Street, which came after this movie. But I love that's always the effect that works so well when done right.
Yeah.
So Thor, you said you've seen all the sequels multiple times. Why don't you tell us your impression of them?
Yeah, so let me sort of transition to that. Before I forget, the one thing I wanted to make sure I got to is only actually watching this with my my wonderful wife Athena on my podcast. She noticed that at 34 minutes there's a very weird cut, and I don't know. It's such a good movie. I never quite noticed. It's when Craig T. Nelson has his head against the wall after the chair moves, and then it cuts straight to them being at their neighbor's front door, and apparently. MGM, she says, "Do you want Pizza Hut?" And then apparently there's an uppercut because he says, "I hate Pizza Hut," which is not in. I don't know if the footage exists. And MGM got a nasty letter from Pizza Hut being like, we work with you on like cross promotion and blah blah blah. And we heard there's gonna be a movie where someone says, "I hate Pizza Hut." That better not happen. And they'd already edited the whole movie. And they couldn't do anything. It was too late to do reshoots. So they were like, "Okay," which is. Wild. It's wild that happened.
That's
I guess
funny.
Pizza Hut was more powerful than I thought in the 80s.
In the 80s?
In the 80s, yeah.
What was better in the 80s than someone like one of your friends having a birthday party at Pizza Hut?
Yeah. That was my favorite place to go to a birthday party, especially when they pull out the whole big pitcher of Mountain Dew and just set it on the table. Beautiful.
See, I'm a little younger, so mine was Chuck E. Cheese with the animatronic rat that played a guitar.
No big Easter for me. I was the early version of Chuck E. Cheese.
At 40, you are the youngest person right now on this podcast.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll be 43 in 2 weeks. So
there we go. Yeah. Thank you for asking about the sequels. Two. It's my least favorite because, like I said, they're like, there's an Indian burial ground below the original house, which is now just a lot. They bring Zelda back. They bring a Native American character in who's pretty cool, but then in the end, they have to like go into like a cave that somehow no one noticed was like below the house. It's very retconny. The third movie is, I was surprised to learn, the least loved critically, commercially, and by everyone but me. But as I think I vaguely mentioned, I live outside Chicago. This is my chosen home. I grew up in Virginia, actually, Mondo. And
me too.
Yeah. Right. So I love Chicago, and the third movie is filmed like pretty much entirely on location inside the John Hancock building, which unfortunately recently had its name stolen by the John Hancock Corporation that said they weren't allowed to use it anymore. Which I was like, it's that's the name of a guy. Like, how can they tell you can't use it? So at the time, the John Hancock building, and it does a lot of stuff with mirrors that's just like amazing in-camera optical effects where like you can't figure out where the camera is, and like they do this cool stuff where like mirrors are like slowly cracking and people come into mirrors, out of mirrors. Lots of like doubles. The third movie I think is very interesting. I think people were upset because other than Carol Ann being in it, it's kind of nothing like the first two. It's actually written by the guy who did Dead and Buried and Deathline, also called Raw Meat, who I also saw speak at the Music Box, and who is a real legit dude. And I wish, I think that movie kind of killed his career, unfortunately, because it lost so much money.
It's good.
Yeah. So I would recommend definitely watch 3 just because it's very cool special effects wise. The actor who plays the new big bad in 2 is an amazing actor. He was like
the preacher.
He was like dying of cancer, and he was like, man, I want to do a movie where I get to be creepy. And they were like, have we got a movie for you? So that's the one shitty part of 3 is they tried to bring his character back, but the actor was too sick. So they just had like a guy in makeup, which the way to make someone look gaunt and like cancerous is not to add layers of makeup, So that's my hot takes.
Wasn't there a TV show at some point?
Poltergeist: The Legacy. Only Zelda Rubinstein appeared.
Yeah.
And not every episode.
Oh, I was like, she's got to get paid, though.
I was about to say, that TV series did not have regular Zelda Rubinstein money. I think it aired on Sci-Fi or something, or Showtime, something cable-y.
And she just passed away, a couple years ago, right?
It's been a little while. Within the last 10 years, I think.
Oh, 2010. Wow.
Time.
Yeah.
God damn it. That's the oldest I've ever said on here. Yeah, I saw it.
Anything from the last 20 years, I feel like was just a couple years ago. So fine.
My favorite instance of that was I was like, oh, when Queen Elizabeth died, I was like, oh, she was the queen for more than 50 years, right? And then the person I was talking to was like 70 years. And I was like, that is more than 50 years.
All right. Any last thoughts on Poltergeist before we move on? Again, this is just top tier, I think.
If you like this movie and the special effects, but wish everyone was naked, watch Tobe Hooper's Life Force.
I love Life Force.
Yeah, great movie.
I thought about doing Life Force for this, and I definitely do want to do that at some point.
Yeah.
I just can't pass up the opportunity. There's so many good Tobe Hooper movies. I just need an excuse to talk about Poltergeist because it's awesome.
I feel like we're coming up on a Tobe Hooper month, I guess, at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you all for bringing me on to discuss one of my favorite movies. And I hadn't seen it. I think I've only seen it twice before, so it was really cool to rewatch.
I watched this directly after Psycho Killer, so I think I might even read it.
All right, let's move to our episode rating. We do 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. You can do half points. Jody, which starts off.
All right. It's either 4.5 or 5. I'm going to go probably 4.5 just because I like to save my 5s, but it's real close to it. It's great.
All right, Mondo.
Like a politician trying to distract people from my misgivings, I'm going to go with number 5. Like pleading the fifth. I got there. It was not a great. It was not a great.
Pleading the fifth. Okay, got
it. It sounded way better in my head than it did.
All right, Thor.
Yeah, so I would say this is an amazing movie, like a definite must-watch, one of the best horror movies. I would say maybe I'm being harder on it because it's Spielberg and Hooper, and I've seen better from both of them. So 4.5.
This is almost divisive in a way.
I'm changing mine to
the half point.
Thor score.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Jody said that he likes to save his 5s, and I'm stingy with my 5s more than anybody. But to me, this is a 5-star movie. It just based on the fact of how often it's been parodied and referenced in other things. That's a huge sign of its influence. And I think I could just put this on anytime. It's as disturbing as there's something very comforting of just being wrapped in that 80s Spielberg blanket.
Yeah.
With
the Tobe Hooper craziness trying to creep in.
To me, this is a genuinely scary movie. To this day, I still find it scary. And that's any movie that can scare me at this point is I'm always going to just bump it up just a little bit.
Yeah,
for sure.
When you say parodies, I do want to mention not a good movie, but excellent theme song, Poltergeist, where the blood keeps spilling.
Okay, it's a fun movie though. That's a fun movie.
It is fun. Huh?
I mean, I like my movies shot on film, not fruit by the foot.
I like Poltergeist. Is it a good movie? No. Is it fun?
Great theme song though.
Yes. All right, let's take a quick break and do a shout out.
Hello, everybody. This is Joe Lynch from Suitable Flesh, and you are listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Look that
All
roll
right.
on the R there.
Mhm. All right, Mondo, give us your song of the day.
Alrighty, so this is nothing related to this movie. There are plenty of songs about witches and ghosts, and we don't have to get there. But I got the pleasure of taking my child to go see one of my favorite bands of all time last night, Opeth. So I'm going to pick a song off one of their records because there's nothing more. I'm not dragging my child to these shows. They're asking me if they can go, and my heart is very, very full. And I can actually segue this in some dad advice too. So, but they ended with a song, and this also makes me feel old because I was thinking that album came out like 10 years ago. It's an album that came out in 2002. And then I realized there are people at this concert. They played a song of My Arms Your Hers, my favorite songs from '96. I'm like, holy shit! Like at least 20% of the people here weren't born when that song came out. And while I feel old with that, it also like makes me feel like kind of cool. I got to hear it when it came out. It's so cool that young people want to experience this too. So I love when like my child finds these bands that we both kind of love or fall in love with, and then she wants to go see them live with me. So tomorrow we'll be seeing Exhumed. If anybody's in Las Vegas and has a time machine and can go back 2 days from this when this is released, come see me at Exhumed, we'll fucking prove time travel is real. We got this.
Well, they'll be using the time machine to later put that '88 Super Bowl poster in the movie.
Right?
It's the same person. Maybe they're just here to kill me, so we can't release this podcast because we revealed the fucking ruse. So many layers here, like. Anyhow, Jason is giving me the look.
That wasn't me this time.
So Opeth finished with their encore, the song Deliverance off the album Deliverance. And I'm also picking this because one of our longtime listeners, Matt, who I've met a couple times at Maryland Death Fest, who I consider a friend at this point, said he also loves the end of this song, which is this breakdown with this like very chuggable metal part. Words are not my strong point right now, but it goes in these crazy off-time signatures. That sounds great. But that album got released in 2002, Deliverance, which had also released a record that year called Damnation, which is like an acoustic record, which my favorite record maybe of all time. It might be my number one of all time. So check out some Opeth, Deliverance off the album Deliverance. It's 13 minutes. It's like a sitcom. It's fantastic.
I was hoping you were going to pick the Poltergeist theme.
If I'm not that smart, I think that far ahead. Get hit in the head a lot.
All right, Jody, you're back with some news. Hit us.
All right, lots of releases recent. So first off, I just found out Scream's releasing this week. I didn't know that. So Scream 7 is coming out this week in theaters. Already in theaters, you can go watch Psycho Killer. Mondo would recommend that you do not, but it's there. Another one in theaters right now is This Is Not a Test, which is described as The Breakfast Club meets 28 Days Later. So, yeah, okay.
Well, one of my friends saw it, said it was amazing.
Okay. Also in theaters, The Dreadful, which is Sophie Turner and Kit Harington, who were both in Game of Thrones. They played Jon Snow and what's her name?
Sansa.
Yes. And it's
I thought they just released the first trailer. I didn't realize it was in theaters already.
Yeah, I think it's already in theaters right now.
I don't think so.
It came out pretty quick.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not any theater around me.
I could be wrong, but I did see on the list of releases that I was looking at.
She was doing a lot of interviews last week, so
yeah,
that would check out with what Jody's saying.
I'm gonna trust Jody.
Well, let's get out of theaters and look at digital here. Okay. 28 Days Later, The Bone Temple is now on digital. We also got Ghost Train, which is a South Korean horror anthology. So I'm definitely going to check that one out. I hadn't heard of it, but I love my anthologies. Diabolic, a religious horror. Blood Barn is a retro style slasher that's coming to Screambox. And of course, we have to get a few of the public domain movies released. Betty's Revenge, which is a Betty Boop slasher.
What?
Oh no!
I love it.
It stars as Betty Boop, the girl from the first VHS movie, the siren girl whose face splits in half
Okay.
with the big eyes.
Okay.
She plays Betty Boop, and the pictures, she looks pretty good. Like she looks like Betty Boop. So
I take back my oh no. That sounds amazing.
yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
It's on like one of these on paper, but like if done the right way, it could be.
And we also get Minnie's Midnight Massacre, which is a Minnie Mouse public domain horror movie. There's so many of them. I don't know if any of them are good, but I have to keep mentioning them. All right, on physical media, we are going to get a 4K of Bride of Reanimator in June. And what I'm excited about, I won't buy it, but I like the idea of buying it. The $129 Ultimate Limited Edition box set. Because do you remember in Bride of Reanimator, he's making all these little experiments and he makes a little hand creature with an eyeball on it. Well, that comes with it. You get the little hand creature with the eyeball and it doubles as a phone holder. So you can set your phone on it.
That's cool. Actually, I'm in some prop groups, and the guy who designed that actually was selling it.
Oh, cool.
I guess he lived not far from me. I was like, should I?
Also, Leprechaun's getting a steelbook 4K and a VHS releasing on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
On theme.
All right, trailers. Lee Cronin's The Mummy coming to theaters April 17th. I don't know what to think about it.
It looks very Evil Dead.
Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of issue with the fact that it's Lee Cronin's The Mummy because he's only made like a couple movies. Like, I don't know if we're quite at like put him up on the billboard yet. But I did like Evil Dead Rise.
My thinking on the naming is that they're just trying to differentiate from like all the mummies, and they didn't want to give it some cheesy like Mummy Rises or Mummy Attacks kind of thing. So like, okay, fine.
It looks interesting. I'll definitely check it out. Another one that I will check out faster, I think, is Body Cam coming to Shudder on March 13th. Looks like a full-length VHS segment to me.
There is a VHS segment with Body Cam and zombies or whatever the hell's going on. So I don't know if I could watch like 90 minutes of that.
I'll check it out. The one that we referenced earlier, a new trailer, is Over Your Dead Body. It's got Samara Weaving talking in her real Australian accent, by the way, which fantastic. I just love hearing her talk in this one. And Jason Segel, who are a couple who go off to a cabin together, supposedly to like fix their relationship, but they're both want to murder each other. And it
like
looks
all
fun.
the cat and mouse kind of movies. Yeah, the trailer looks really good.
Yeah, I'm definitely into it. And we also have The Gates trailer released. It stars Mason Gooding from the Scream movies and from Hard Eyes. And it's the final role for James Vanderbeek. He plays the bad guy in this one. So if you're a man of a certain age, like mid-40s, go get your colon checked. It doesn't sound like fun, but it's happening a lot. So you should do that.
But yeah, that's a really fun trailer. I'm actually really excited for that. And like, it's kind of thing. I'm like, why didn't he do these kind of roles sooner?
James Vanderbeek has been a fun actor for a while.
Yeah.
Like he's willing to make fun of himself. There was the show Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, where James Vanderbeek played himself as like a cocky actor. It's great. It's great. All right. Couple other quick news things. They have announced In a Violent Nature 2, and it's going to be at summer camp. That's all I need. I'm totally happy with that. I don't need anything else in a description. I will show up for that. And most exciting for me right now is Toy Fair 2026 just happened. That's when all the toy companies get together and reveal all their new stuff. So Trick or Treat Studios, here are some things that you will be able to buy from them before long. The 30-inch tall Ultimate Leprechaun that looks just like a full prop of the little leprechaun guy from the Leprechaun movie. They're also making a line of Hellraiser figures, including the female Cenobite, Chatterer, Butterball, and Pinhead. I wanted some of those other Cinnabites in my office.
I need a Dr. Chenard and whatever.
Yeah.
And those, I always don't buy them when I see them. I need to buy them. They're expensive, but fuck.
They are.
I don't keep track of the toys. Have they done one of the guy with all the CDs in his face?
I was going to say, give me a CD and camcorder head.
I'm not sure if they've got those yet, but there's an audience for buying those. I 100% think that somebody would buy them. Me is the one I'm talking about.
Me too.
All right, and NECA revealed all of their new things, and that's my favorite company for figures right now. Most excited about they are finally making a Jason Takes Manhattan and a Jason Goes to Hell figure. The rights have been tied up for a long time, and they're getting around it by making it based on Friday the 13th, the game. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's just a figure, but it has like the game underneath the name of it.
That's fun.
Little legal trickery there. You also have the Friday the 13th Pamela Voorhees shrine. So in part 2, where Jason has the shrine with the lights and the mom's head on it, it lights up too. It's the whole thing, like with little candles all around it. They're making Predator's Badland figures. They're making a new ghost face that includes the face from Scary Movie with the tongue sticking out, the what's up face. I'm gonna have to buy that. And they have some Welcome to Derry figures, including, if you're on video right now, this new Pennywise that you can only know what is going on if you have watched that series. I would recommend it.
Spoilers.
And yeah, that's what I said. I'm not going to describe what's happening.
You might have a child of some sort.
And a bunch of Terrifier figures, Terrifier 2 figures, Terrifier 3. You get Santa art, and the little pale girl, which I will be buying all of those because I don't have self-control. That's it.
Boom Studios, Hellraiser Compendium, all the comic books on Kickstarter. Ooh. I just pledged $350 for this, and I don't feel amazing about it, but I'm gonna be so happy when it comes to my house.
Yeah, the Umbrella Entertainment released a 3-pack of all the Terrifier movies, including it comes with a VHS and the art glasses with the like Christmas tree and everything.
They just discounted it.
Yeah, they discounted it, and it ships from Australia, and it will be here Thursday. So,
still cheaper probably than buying it the original way. So.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mondo, you said you have some dad advice you wanted to give us.
I thought I did, but I also realized the entire episode I was using the wrong microphone until about like 5 minutes ago. So I probably sounded terrible, and I kind of hate myself a little bit. So we're gonna start over, and
we'll do it live.
I guess it wasn't that bad if nobody noticed. No, so one of the things that like I really bond with my child over now, my child's an adult obviously, is love of heavy metal music. It wasn't always that way. My child, some of their friends listen to us, and that's kind of weird. But keep listening. Fuck, don't stop. We need the likes. They listen to some bad music at times, but what I want to say is like it's cool to experience like things, going to a show outside my child wanted to go to, of a musical genre that I love more than anything. But you can't force that on your kids. I never forced any of this on my child. I never forced horror on them. It just became one of those things that dad really likes, and maybe I'll check it out too. As parents, sometimes what we like is uncool, no matter what it is. But then I think your kids hit this age where they realize, maybe dad's not so bad, and maybe this is kind of cool. So I'm saying is, don't force your interest on your children. Let them find that organically. Because I think if you're just good to them, they'll kind of have a soft spot for some of the stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, I have multiple kids, and some of them are into horror. And they really love it. And like my 9-year-old is like, can I watch some more horror movies lately? And I'm like, okay, we'll find some stuff that's appropriate.
Yeah, let's watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Some of them don't at all. Like they don't like it at all. They're too scared of it. It's too much. And so we don't watch scary movies together. We don't push that. Like if they decide they want to at some point, they enjoyed the new movie from of the Dead. It's the
Queen.
drag
Queens.
Queens
Queens
of the Dead. Thank you. Queens of the Dead. They enjoyed that one because that fit a lot of their other interests that they like. But we don't push it. We allow them to do what they want with those kind of things.
Yeah, my
I do
daughter was
wanna
going
say-
to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just very quick. When Jody was like, I have multiple children, it sounded like he didn't want to admit to us that one of his children is currently missing. It was very vague.
The Jody has so many kids that if you don't want one of yours, you could just walk by his family in like Walmart and just push one of your kids into his group, and they would never know. The kids would take 2 years to figure out.
We noticed reverse Home Alone.
Yeah. What was your name again? Okay.
Kevin. Yeah, it's interesting because kids go through phases as well. So like my daughter was going through like a little like horror star phase. We watched like Monster Squad and Beetlejuice and Anne's Family, and it's not she doesn't like those things anymore, but she just hasn't been interested in other things, so I haven't been pushing it. But they're actually Beetlejuice the musical is coming in a couple months, so I got us tickets for that, so we can still kind of share in that as well. I think she'll have a good time with it.
Yeah,
I've heard good things. All right, well, Danny, thank you for joining us. Tell us about your Hour of Thunder.
Oh, thank you so much for asking. Yeah, so Thor's Hour of Thunder is an audio-only podcast. Find us on Apple and everything, and we review. We try and do like movies that we think don't have as big of a following as they should. So I know like Jody's been on to review the Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Jason's been on to review Cloak and Dagger and Malignant, which is a little more recent than we normally do, but was weird enough to well warrant us covering it.
Yeah.
So this year we're actually doing we normally do theme months because we've been going for over 1,000 episodes, so it's a good way to like hone in on what we want. But this year we decided to do a theme year, so we're a few, 2 months into numbers 1 through 52 for each week of the year. So like we have publishing soon is a really interesting talk on session 9 with Doctrine of Horror, who I think has been on here, right, Jason?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you know a movie that has a number in it, we're probably covering it. There's a lot of weeks where there's only one movie with that number. So yeah. And then I do want to mention halfway to Halloween, the end of April, we are going to do. That's why I wore this X-Files shirt. We've already recorded, and we're going to release a rare video for us of folks doing a like staged reading of a X-Files episode, the Bad Blood one with the vampires.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, so very excited about that. We got like my friends dug up like way too talented people to be on that. Basically, we had a guy from Second City was the narrator, and the woman who played Agent Scully does like Agent Scully cosplay like all around the country, and was just spot on. So yeah, definitely look out for that. It's a little bit away, but mark your calendar.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right.
And
Well,
thank
that
you
wraps
for having me on. It was so great
thanks
to
for coming on.
Yeah, talk to you all again. And Mondo, you are the only one of these three that hasn't been on my podcast.
I'm the most elusive because I'm just stupid and somehow at 42 decided I'm going to take on extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
Well, hit me up. I'd love to talk to you guys.
Yeah. I'll message you on whatever. We can talk off air about what the appropriate message you. Actually, just give out your phone number. Give out your phone number right now.
And where can people follow you for updates?
Oh yeah. So we try and concentrate on Instagram. It's Hour of Thunder, all one word on Instagram, and you'll see when the episodes publish, and then I try and with our sort of 80s and 90s purview, I mention when it's the birthday of like retro celebrities.
That's nice. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. We appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate it if everyone could give us a rating and review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify, a like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. With that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.